MMA Boxing Talk here, coming at you with another video. I just want to put out a video talking about boxing and the competitiveness in boxing. Of course, we all know boxing hasn't been a very popular sport in the U.S., in North America, like it once was in the 80s and the 90s, and obviously before that. The 2000s, there were some good fighters, but as we got closer to the end of the 2000s, the competitiveness in the sport just left. And, Floyd Mayweather has a lot to do with that. He was the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, not taking the tough fights, not taking the fights the fans wanted to see, and everyone kind of followed suit. But now, ever since basically the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight, we're starting to see more competitive fights, slowly but surely. There's some nice fights to look forward to. We got with Keith Thurman, Sean Porter. That's taking place June 25th. I cannot wait. I just watched the press conference. I can't wait for that one. That's, the best division in boxing, the 147 welterweight division, and two of the best. Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, two young, hungry, primed lions going to face each other. Cannot wait for that fight. Another fight, that got announced. It's official. Other than a couple small details, but Terrence Crawford and Victor Postol, the two best fighters at 140, are going to be facing off July 23rd, so about a month after Thurman Porter. That's another great fight. Very competitive fights. Both fights are very competitive, and that's exactly what the boxing fans want. We don't want to see, voluntary after voluntary after voluntary, and fighters, not fighting the best. Another fight, Deontay Wilder is fighting his mandatory. Finally, Deontay Wilder is going to fight Alexander Povetkin, who's been his mandatory for a long time. It's taking place in Russia because Alexander Povetkin's team won the purse bid. Deontay Wilder going to Russia. I love it. I hope that sets a standard. Now, of course, we still have we have Canelo versus Amir Khan. That's a fight that, as much as it gets closer and closer, I feel that it might not be as much of a mismatch as people think. I still think, that fight shouldn't be taking place, right? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Amir Khan has only had, I think, 3 or 4 fights at 147, so he's not even he hasn't even really proved himself at 147, and now he's fighting the king basically at 155, who really should be fighting at 160. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I mean, obviously it makes sense financially, money-wise, but it's still an interesting fight. I'll be streaming that one. That'll be interesting, though. But, really Canelo should be fighting Triple G. That's what the fans want to see. And one more fight, I want to talk about. It's not official, but both fighters have signed contracts with HBO stating that they will fight in the near future, hopefully at the end of this year or early 2017, and that is Sergey Kovalev, the consensus, the lineal light heavyweight champion of the world. He holds 3 of the 4 major titles, and he's taking on, supposedly in the future, hopefully at the end of this year, Andre Ward, a former #2 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, very well-rounded. So, these two guys, Andre Ward was the best at 168, or he was seen as the best at 168. Sergey Kovalev is seen now the best at 175. Andre Ward's grown out of the 168 division, and now he's moving up. So that fight is huge for boxing. That's what boxing fans want to see. We need that fight in boxing. Basically, you could argue that that fight is Sergey Kovalev versus Andre Ward the pound-for-pound #1 title is up for grabs in that fight. You know, it really, truly is. Whether you believe Andre Ward deserves to be considered one of the pound-for-pound #1 or 2 or 3, one of the top pound-for-pound guys, considering his inactivity of late, you know, I understand. But a lot of the boxing fans see Andre Ward still as elite. So that's a great fight, you know, that needs to happen. And another fight, you know, I don't think this fight will happen, but, you know, I still want to see Vasily Lomachenko take on Nicholas Walters. You know, Nicholas Walters, not impressed with him, you know, for not wanting to fight Vasily Lomachenko on at least fair terms, reasonable terms. He doesn't want to fight him on reasonable terms, financially and what have you. That's a great fight, but maybe we won't see that happen. And I'd still love to see Rigondeaux versus Lomachenko. You know, that would be another great fight. But anyway, I just want to put out a couple fights, you know, giving you examples of, you know, great fights that we have to look forward to, competitive, you know, 2 guys that are top in their divisions. Some good fights, you know, Thurman Porter. We got Terrence Crawford, Victor Postol, Deontay Wilder, Alexander Povetkin, and some fights we need to see. Canelo, Triple G, Sergey Kovalev, Andre Ward. That should come before Canelo, Triple G, really. And Lomachenko, Walters, that might be not ever possible, but hey, you never know. But anyway, I got to put out these videos, and I haven't made in a while, talking about the competitiveness in the sport, you know, calling out the bullshit, and that's what it is. But if you like the video, subscribe. That's it for this one. Check me out on Twitter at MMA Boxing Talk 1. I'm also on Instagram. Subscribe if you like the video. Peace.